Welcome to the Plantiful Goddess Podcast. My name is Jessica Karwat, and I'm a holistic coach for women, certified vegan nutritionist, fitness trainer, yogi, and reiki master. I have coached hundreds of women worldwide, and I made it my mission to help women from all around the world transform their lives and health in ways they didn't think was possible. If you're looking to uplevel your health, learn about the best practical tips on vegan health and fitness, master your menstrual cycle, improve your relationship with food, and so much more, so that you can reconnect with the powerful woman that you're meant to be, then you have come to the right place. My goal in this podcast is for you to help you step up your game, reconnect with yourself as a woman, and elevate your health and life. We are going to have so much fun in this podcast. Are you ready? Let's begin. Hello everyone, my name's Jess, and in this podcast episode, I wanted to speak about relationship with food and how to heal your relationship with food. I myself have struggled with the relationship with food that I had for so long, and this is a topic that is very, very close to my heart and something that I want to give you a little bit of an overview about. Now, if you get triggered by any type of conversation about that, or you feel like, I'm not sure if this is the right thing for me to listen to, I totally understand. You can decide if you want to stay on or not, but I truly believe this is going to possibly shift a couple of things for you as well and how you think about this whole relationship with food thing, okay? For me, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a background, what happened to me and what I struggled with and how I worked through it myself. Now, let's call it toxic relationship with food started at a very young age, actually. And it started at a time which I know was triggered mainly by my mom, which, it happens. She's a wonderful person, but I just wanted to, clarify that sometimes there is something that triggers the relationship with food that you have. And it's okay to recognize that, and it's okay to realize that there are certain triggers that can develop something for you. Let's say it this way, okay? So for me, as I said, I know it was triggered by my mom and it was not intentional, but she also struggled with her relationship with food and her body image and just looking a certain way. So I knew for me that I took a lot on from what I saw in her, and I took that on to me. And that's something that I see a lot with my clients as well, that they have developed a toxic relationship with food because of their past, because of what they have learned at home, because of their parents or whatever they have experienced. So that is the first step to recognizing, okay, where did my toxic relationship with food, where and when did it develop? Now, once you know that, you are very far already, because with that information, you then will be able to act the right way and create a strategy for yourself. So for me, I didn't really recognize or I didn't really understand why I was having a toxic relationship with food. For me, what was happening a lot was that I would overeat a lot, but also I would restrict myself a lot. And sometimes when I would overeat, I would purge. So this is, I know, also an eating disorder, and I recognized that at a later point in my life, but this was a huge discovery for me to understand that, oh yeah, it's very toxic and I always go from one thing to the other and I never really have a balance of anything. And so in the beginning, I didn't even understand where this was coming from and why this was triggered or what this was triggered by. But with time, when I started looking into it, I saw that I had a hard time dealing with my emotions. And now going back in my childhood and going back, from what I've experienced, I knew that this was all related. And whenever difficult situations would arise, for my mom, for example, food was kind of like the thing that gave her comfort. And she was never overweight. She was always, thin and sporty and all of that. But that was one of the things that I saw in her, and that very quickly, I adopted as well. I started whenever I was stressed, whenever I was happy, whenever I was unhappy, whenever any type of emotional situation came up in my life, I would go to food directly, because it gave me a sense of feeling great and feeling like I have control over at least this part of my life, or it gave me some sense of reward or happiness, or again, depends on what kind of situation happened that day. So when I moved out of my home and I started studying abroad, it got even worse for a certain amount of time. And that was at a time as well in my life where I was so disconnected from myself, from my own health, and I didn't know how to really support myself the best way. And that was what started becoming very obvious for me, was that I didn't know how to deal with my emotions. I didn't know how to deal with my stress, and all of that would come out eventually over and over again. And so when I started my own health journey and my healing journey, these things started becoming more and more and more obvious, because the more awareness I've gotten of myself, the more I did this inner work, the more I was able to really recognize the patterns and recognize what was going on. So the next step for you, after you've gotten the awareness and you know when that is happening for you, the next step that you want to take is to work on yourself, is to, first of all, not do it alone. It's okay if you feel like, okay, I want to do it by myself, but having support around you is going to just accelerate your success, but also is going to help you so much more in understanding yourself, because when you do it on your own, it feels like you might go crazy. So it's very, very important to work on the things that you have that you're scared of. Let's say it like that. A lot of people that I come across are scared to do the work on themselves, to do their inner healing work, to really recognize what emotions come up when and what triggers what and why they end up going to food every time. So when you think about that, food is just a coping mechanism. It could be anything else, right? It could be alcohol, it could be drugs, it could be shopping, it could be socializing, it could be scrolling mindlessly on Instagram. It can be anything. So just recognize that food is just a coping mechanism, and it's helping you suppress or repress the feelings or the emotions that are coming up for you. And the thing is that in our society today, we have not learned how to feel our feelings. We have learned how to suppress them because they're not correct in this very moment. They shouldn't be shown right now, right? Because you're in a working environment or you're at school or whatever. But this is one of the things that, then happens over and over again. And eventually when we are by ourselves, we do the same thing. And when these emotions want to come up, we go to food. And for me, it was a long journey to recognize whenever I was going to food that in that very moment, actually there was something coming up for me emotionally that I had a hard time dealing with. It can be a traumatic experience. It can just be stress at work, but there is a message that your body wants to tell you. And the more we are disconnected from our bodies and our messages and our intuition, the less likely are we going to heal our relationship with food. That's why when I see people, starting a fitness journey and they join a fitness program, which again, I'm totally okay with, but most women that I see, they actually, what they crave and what they don't know yet they need to do this inner work first. It goes hand in hand, right? It goes hand in hand in creating that awareness of yourself, of your body. What is your body telling you? What does your body want from you right now? Instead of feeling like I'm gonna have, this fitness goal of losing 40 pounds in 3 weeks or whatever your crazy goal can be, and then you feel like a failure when it doesn't happen, because you then end up eating even more emotionally, right? Because then it creates even more stress for you, and you're not doing the work on yourself, but you're doing it on just external goals that you're having of being a certain body weight or looking a certain way, and you're actually missing the point. You're actually missing the point of really healing yourself. And that's the journey that I went on, and that's the journey that is part of the Plantiful Goddess program and what we do in the Plantiful Goddess program. And I know you have heard me talk about this over and over again, but I'm never going to stop talking about it because it's the best program I've created. It's literally for women that have either way tried a million things and nothing has worked, or they're just starting out and want to do it right. This is really for these women that want to go on this fitness journey but feel like they're stuck and they don't even know why it's not working. And again, if you really feel like you're creating the same results over and over again and you feel stuck over and over again, this is a reason for you to look deeper, right? It's also the same thing if you want to manifest something. Manifestation is nothing more than just your thoughts becoming a reality. So those thoughts of yours, though, can be so deep in the unconscious mind that you're not even recognizing that your deep unconscious thoughts are creating your current reality that is not desirable for you. So just always remember that there's something in you that is holding you back, and what's holding you back is really creating always the results right now. So we need to work on the deep stuff. That is the ultimate goal here, and the only way that is going to create sustainable results for you. If it's the relationship with food, if it's the weight loss, if it's a healthy cycle, it's all together. And so it's very, very important that you recognize it for yourself and that you allow yourself to have support. So you now listening to this, watching this, the Plantiful Goddess program is for you if you feel like, yes, I need to really heal this side of myself and I've been doing it wrong, or I've not been taking the steps that have helped me get there. We are starting the program very soon. The third round is starting mid of February. So this is honestly your last call to join. So make sure you apply directly with the link in my show notes or go to my Instagram directly, send me a DM. Let's get on a free discovery call. We get to know each other better and we get you on your own personal health, healing, and transformational journey. That is it from my side, ladies. I hope this was exciting. I hope this was helpful. I hope this gave you a little bit of more insight as to the type of work that is going to help you really create the results that you want. But thank you so much for listening to this. I really appreciate you all so much, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.